How's it going? Welcome to the shop. Hope you're having a great day. I'm going to do the bevel on this and get some wood drilled and all that and ready, because that carbon fiber really ate me up. I need a break. Are you ready? Here we go. Alright, welcome back. I'm going to do the bevel on this, but first, I think it's appropriate to show you how a lot of guys do their handles, because I always show you, oh, I do my handles like this, but I see a lot of guys doing them this way and that way, but I've never shown it. So I'm going to show that. I'm just going to clamp them down. Like I say in a lot of my videos, it's 5 times faster, but there are a lot more chances to mess up. That's why I don't do it. I used to do it that way, and then once in a while I'd come and the handles would be off, and the pivot pin would be like crooked, or one pin's down and one pin's up, or they're just offset when you're looking from the spines. I'll show you how to take care of that so you can choose which way you want to do your handles. I've always said experiment. Try different things, see what works for you. The way I do things isn't necessarily the best way for you guys to do them. Amazon links are on my website up here, along with knives and shirts that look like this. Let's get to the bench and get these all clamped up, then onto the drill. You might notice this one is already drilled because I shot this already and forgot to turn this camera on. This camera has footage, but as always I usually talk into this camera. Couple things I would suggest if you're going to do it this way, still use the clamps. Make sure everything clears, just like the way I showed on the first one, or the way I do it. It is very critical that you have space to put this down. It is very critical that you make sure your table and your drill bit are straight. A lot more critical than the way I do it. If it's a little off the way I do it, you're going to come through this and come out the other one, so it's still going to be straight. This way, if one's off or another, it could be catty corner or anything. I can't emphasize enough, make sure your table, because if you bump the table, it might go out a little bit or something. You can ruin your handles like that. I've done it. So that's why I don't do it this way anymore. This way is so much faster. And you have to have the bigger thing, so you want to have your table down. But other than that, it's the same thing. Make sure your 1, 2, 3 block clears, turn it on, and boom, boom, boom. Take your bolts all the way through. Move your clamp. Some people will make it so they don't have to move their clamp. If you can do that, then that's fine too, either way. But you have to make sure it's flat. Any deviance, and it's really going to show up. You know, you don't want, see how this bolt comes out here, and then comes out here? It'll look like this. You know, when you put this one, also, here's a big factor you have to remember. If you have scales that have a pattern on the outside and a different pattern on the inside, like these, see how these have this pattern on the inside, on the outside, but on the inside, there's a completely different pattern. You want to make sure to match up the two insides, because this is going to come out and go over here. this has to be the outside and this has to be the outside. That's one very important thing to remember. Also, after you drill it, you're going to want to open it up and mark right and left, because this is where it's crucial, because you can put them on backwards or anything. In fact, see, this got loose and the blade started wiggling. I hope that doesn't mess it up. It shouldn't, but that's why you put the pins in it. See, I'm always nervous because I think this moves. Let's go for it. I hope I don't mess this up. See, it keeps slipping off. So, lock that down. And that's the thing on the 1, 2, 3 blocks. See how that's pivoting now? You're going to want to make sure you have clearance. I know, that's left. See? I'm getting dyslexic. So left, because you're on the left side of the blade, and then right. Let's hope it works out. Alright, I gotta get back to editing. I didn't even have to use my scribe or anything. I just did this with my hand, just for a line to give kind of a guidance. I did do the center line. If you're in a basement or anywhere in the winter where it's dry, I'm gonna show you something, but I don't want a bunch of comments about how I'm gonna electrocute myself or anything. I have a wire. It's hooked in my belt, right up against my skin, just like if you had a wrist strap for working on computers. Because every time I have the knife here and I touch it in this hand and put it to the belt, I get shocked. So this way, if I put it to metal, just some piece of metal, I ground myself out. So it doesn't matter where you put it on the metal, this just discharges your body. So every time you touch the belt, because the belt's spinning, creating static electricity. When you take your one hand, put the knife in the other hand, touch it to the belt, you're completing the circuit. Now, this wire is now hooked to the motor. The motor is not hooked to the grinder electronically anyway. So there's no electronic component in this. I've got comments like, just ground the motor. The motor is grounded. This is electrical charge in the air. It has nothing to do with the motor, with the VFD, with the grinder. The only thing it has to do with the belt spinning, creating static electricity. So you discharge it. I used to work in computers, and I remember wearing the wrist strap or wearing it on your leg. I didn't even think about this. One of my friends, Eddie Pennington, on my Facebook and Instagram reminded me, hey, just put a wire in your belt up against your skin and put it on something metal. I got a 60 brand new belt. Oh yeah, before I forget, I've got two of the live streams up on Anchor. I'll put the link in the description for the podcast. I just don't want to forget. So you can listen to the podcast just on your phone or whatever, download the Anchor app, and you can listen to the live stream repost. Alright, let's get grinding on this bad boy. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be good. I just had to bring it down to here. I got the belt hung over just a little bit, not much. But once I bring this part right here down to this line and we're straight, I'm going to hang the belt out more, and then we're going to bring the rest of this loop in. That's why I'm kind of staying away from here. Let's get it worked in, get it all figured out. That's why I'm only stopping right here. And then we can swoop that rest of the part in. Like I say, that's the low part. So we had to bring everything else straight down to it. So here's where we want to kind of put our fingers in the middle. And that'll bring everything down to this. Down here. You know, we don't want to put them up here because we're already here on this. And we're already on our line. The middle kind of needs to come out. So we want to put our fingers just a little bit lower. And bring all this middle meat right here into there. Also, you can kind of work it in here and lift this blade. I have a lot of people that ask me, okay, I messed up, or my tip's getting too thin, or something in the middle is wrong. What do? That's when you lift the blade. You know, you can either put your finger here on the platen and lift it with your thumb, or you can just put pressure here and kind of tilt it with this hand. And you just want to make sure this part doesn't touch, because here we're all nice and even. Then we just kind of feather it in right there, because it's only right here it needs to come in. But then after you get it feathered in, then you have to keep, you know, get it nice and flat, get it all blended in. I gotta pay attention. I mean, if I come up like that, it's all right. But, you know, I want that swoop, so let me cut this out a little bit more, and then we'll put that swoop in a little bit more. Alright, so we kind of got it here. I'm going to leave that little bit of space. I might even just leave it there, but we'll see. Now I want to bring it up here, and then we'll have that nice swoop. So we're just going to have a little bit of pressure down here and just kind of ease it in to see if we can get that nice curve to come up. Woo-wee! I still gotta bring that down just a little bit. You can see there's still a little facet there. Yeah, we'll have to work that out with the 120. Get a little bit more delicate. Other than that, that one facet right there, we're looking pretty good. I might have to kind of finagle it in and kind of work it and try to keep off of here. I still got a little bit right there I can come in, but woo-wee! Alright, let's get this side worked on. I'll be honest with you, even now, when you start out, well, I've talked about this before, when you first start out, you do full flat bevels. And then as you get better, you make them shorter and shorter. And then you get worried because you make them look good, and all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I don't want to do anymore because I'll ruin this. And I know I have to go up to 120 or 240 or whatever I'm going up to, and it's like, man, I got to make sure I keep this nice and straight. So even I worry about it, you know. I'm not an expert or a seasoned veteran at this, but I've ruined enough knives to know when you get it looking like this where you want it, it's when things start getting real sensitive, because it's real easy to mess it up here. Well, that side's done. Look how small we got that facet down to, and that's the 120 will take that out for sure. So now we're going to move the belt that way, so it's hanging off over here. Like I said, but we're only going to have it hanging over a little bit because we want to get, see how it's swooped up right there? We want to get that out and bring it up and then finish it off and bring the belt out. So yeah, see how it swoops right there? We're going to bring that in, but we only want to bring it up to here a little bit. You know, then we want to finish it in like we did on the first one. And if you haven't watched my beginner knife maker course or the other swooping plunges, right here, there's that lip. I don't want that lip to catch and mess up my grind, so I'm just tapping it in. Doesn't matter what your grind is. I mean, this is how I like it. If you find a better way to do it, then that's the way you have to do it. But I find it a lot better if you just tap in this edge so you don't have to worry about getting caught on it. Because see, it'll catch. Every once in a while it'll catch. Even if at first it doesn't, you don't know when it will. And then, bam, you messed up your plunges. Now see, this is what the ink is for. See? Low spot right here. So we gotta bring this down and this down to this low spot. That's why you use Dykem and all that. Even with stuff like that where you don't have to scribe a line, I would still suggest Dykem, because that tells you where you're missing. There'll be a big facet there if we leave that, so we have to get that out. Man, I'm glad I checked that. If you look down the blade, it curves off like this right here. Now I think I had to clean my surface plate. I think the Dykem and stuff built up and it gave it like a wobble. And man, when I marked it, yeah, it marked it off this way. So it curved out. So I'm glad I caught it. And luckily I had to go thinner, so I had room to mark my blade thinner. Or man, I would have had to make this shorter and start over, and who knows. That's an important lesson. I thought it was clean, but yeah, I had to wipe it down with some acetone and get it all clean, and sure enough, it was off. Alright, time to stop. I'm almost messing up right here. Almost. You can see I still got a lot of room to bring it up. But I can feel myself getting sloppy. You can see right here I went over just a teeny bit, but not where it's going to hurt it. And my grinds are starting to get sloppy. Look at all this crisscrossing facets in here. So, time to stop. But that's basically it. I just have to wait and then come back and finish. That's one thing with 1095 and 52-100. You grind this side starts getting rusty. You grind this side, once you get the higher belts there, that goes away. So now I just have to pretty it up for Instagram pictures, and yeah. I'm going to drill the handles out and all that. Next video you'll see me wearing pants, old pants that I never wear, and long sleeves. And face mask so that carbon fiber doesn't eat me up. Whew. Wait till the live stream. That's a long story. I did a few stupid things and man, made it worse. Alright, back to the bench. So that's about it. I got done editing and realized I didn't do an outro. I've been wearing a back brace, especially since I've been doing the podcast or turning the live stream into a podcast, which links are down below. I find myself slumping over in front of the computer a lot. This back brace is really helping, especially since I sit at a grinder and look down and all that. But I digress. Hope you enjoyed this content. Remember, there's Amazon links on my website and down below. All the information for all my videos and stuff is down in the description. I appreciate the support. Hope you're all having a great day. And as always, take it easy. Alright, I think I'm going to get on these bevels. I'm going to do the bevel on this and get the wood. Welcome back. Yeah, so as I was saying, alright, welcome. And after you just kind of